Hi, my name is Velin. It's a pleasure to virtually meet you. And today I wanted to give a very short crash course in how you can create a SharePoint group, how you can use it, how you can manage it, how you can add specifically made tools for your needs, and also how to connect the different tools or databases into a visualization. It could be a dashboard, or you can actually use the group that you make. I'll keep it short and sweet, and hopefully you like it. So let's start in a structured and straightforward way. Firstly, I need to create a group for my division. Let's say that I am the head of the purchasing division or the purchasing department. In SharePoint, you can create two different types of groups. The first one is communication group. It is meant as a portal to engage different stakeholders. In our case, we will be focusing on the second type, which is a group and netstead, meaning that it is a group for a department. This one is seen as the main or the home page where different managers share information with the entire company. This can also be seen as an information portal, not just for internal users, but for the externals. Let's say that this is something that is shared with the suppliers or with the customers. The second one, the one that we would be actually using here, is more of a private group, which is only meant to be used by the department, or it could be shared with some visitors. I'll explain everything step by step. So let's create a group. I will call it purchasing, since I'm the head of purchasing. Yes, it checks that it's available. Yes. So this one is available with changes. Of course, this will not pop up when you're making it, but I want to make it like this test. And I will give a very short description. This is the group for the purchasing department. I want it to be private. Of course, my interface is in Norwegian, but your interface will be based on what settings you have in your main account. And this setting here is quite important, what language the group will be using. Since the default language chosen in Probat is English, we will pick English here. Next. And here you are asked to add members. For the moment, I won't do that. I just click on Finish Punk. Now I'm redirected to the group. In here, as you can see, you have the freedom to add different buttons or a template. Let's check out the templates. Since I know that this is going to be a group for my department, the purchasing department, I can either choose one of these. This one looks nice. It's gonna be like this, but nah, I prefer to make it from scratch. So what I will do is I click the edit, and as you can see, you're redirected to a panel which allows you to move the different components. Think of it as a jigsaw or a puzzle. You can move this one, you can uh, edit, you can duplicate it. For example, I can add different things, but for the moment, I will just purge everything. I want it to be tidy, and I want it to look just the way I visualize it in my head. Publish. Yes. So you see, it is completely blank. What I want to do first is, okay, this is going to be the purchasing, the group for the purchasing department. In that case, I would like it to, let's see, change the look, punk. I would like it to look a bit more fresh because purchasing is a vital part of the manufacturing of then the operations. So we are focusing on green manufacturing. So I'll just put some green colors. What else? I want it to be a bit more minimalistic, and I want it to have this light. Okay, site logo. Let's see, I can update something. I can put this one, for example, save, and the icon will change, meaning that this is how your group will be visible to the other users. And here I'm just talking about visuals. Let's see something else. I would like to add a very short questionnaire for my current suppliers, because I need the information from them so that I understand if I'm ABC customer. Okay, so in that case, let's go to documents, meaning that this is the internal storage for this group. Only users inside the group can see this. And I will make forms for Excel, meaning that now I'm creating an Excel file inside SharePoint group, which is connected to Microsoft Forms. And inside Microsoft Forms, I will be able to create a different sort of questionnaire. New forms for Excel. And my internet is a bit slow today. So I will call it customer that is ABC evaluation of suppliers. Create, and then I'm being redirected to Microsoft Forms. Microsoft Forms is more or less a very simple tool to create questionnaires and to gather information. What I want to do is I want my suppliers to, let's see, to add the date when they fill out this form. What is today's date? I also want them to rate us. No. How likely are you to? No. How responsive? How responsive are we? And I want it to be like 10 stars. And I also want to add a net promoter score. How likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague, or how likely are you to recommend us to another enterprise? And what else? I want one text answer. Right. I want where was the oh yeah, short text. Do you have suggestions for improvement for us? Question mark. And as you can see, when you click on each and every question, you can make it a required, meaning that the one filling out the form is not allowed to proceed without the question being answered. I want all questions to be required. And what else would be nice to understand? I want to add one more question here. I want it to be a choice, and it would be, are we how vital of a customer are we to you, for example? And A customer, B customer, and I want it to be C customer. Okay, and now I want to add some additional logic to these questions. So I go to these three dots, more settings. I go to branching, meaning that right now the branching options, these are how the questions are connected together. Let's click on the first one. What is today's date? When the question is answered, I want the form to continue to question number 2. When question number 2 is answered, let's say that we are a customer. In that case, I'm skipping this one and this one, because if we are an A, no, I want it to go, yeah, why not? I want it to go to number 5. If the customer answers B or C, I want it to go to number 3, then number 4, and then I want it to end of the form. And that way I created the logic. So now I want to customize the questionnaire a bit more. So I click on theme, and you can either choose one of these. Yeah, why not? This one, or you could use one of these, or you can click the plus, customize the theme, and upload. Here I want it to be like this. Okay, so this is how it will look like. This is the background. I also want the logo to be, the logo of our company to be here, punk. Okay, and I can put something like supplier evaluation form, like this. And I can click on preview to see how it would look like from the supplier's perspective. Let's say that I'm gonna fill it out. 10th, how vital are we? Okay, a customer, do you have suggestions, blah, blah, blah. No, okay, if I answer B, then I get these questions. See these questions, you see? It's very simple and straightforward. So let's see that, let's say that we are C customer. How responsive are we? 4. How likely are you to recommend? 8. Do you have suggestions? Place cookies and no cookies next to the coffee machine. Submit punk, and your response was submitted. But again, if you want to customize it even more and make it even more user friendly, you go to, you know, these 3 buttons. Usually in the Microsoft world, the 3 buttons are settings. You can either share this with someone else. Let's say that I want to share this one with Jan Erik, or with Piotr, or with someone else from the department, or I can just share it as a template, meaning that they get their own duplicate of this. But for the moment, I could click on multi-language and add different language. Let's say I want to add one in Norwegian Bokmål Punk. So when I add a language and I click this one, then I get the same form, and then I can translate. ABC, evaluering av leverandører. Dato, dagens dato. Hvor viktig er vi for deg som leverandør? Og så videre, og så videre. And etc. So back. And now I have the same form, but in another language. And this is quite useful if you have suppliers from different parts of the world. Because, let's go to the preview. Because when they are filling it out up here, the setting for the next language that you've added pops up. And of course, I haven't translated everything. This is why it looks like this. But you get the point. And something else here in settings, you could remove this one, meaning that you can share. The form can be shared and used by anyone. It can be only people inside the organization, meaning people with the same email as you. In our case, it will be either Probat, Structure Plus, Bano, etc., or only specific people in the organization. And if you remove this one, all the inquiries or all the answers which are recorded will be without the name, meaning that they'll be anonymous. And you could customize the thank you message. Thank you for answering our evaluation or our feedback form and helping us build a company of world class. And yeah, more or less that's it. So the next step after the form is created, we click on collect responses. So here is the neat part. You can either send the URL or the link for the form to someone. You can click this one and automatically an email is generated, or you can click on this one and get the QR code. For our purposes, I will download this one, but I will also take this one. So what is the thing with the QR code? Well, you just need a phone. You scan it and you're automatically sent to fill out the form. And that's it. So let's go back to the group. As you can see, an Excel file was created, and we must be very careful what we do with this Excel file. This is the source file. We must not change properties. We must not move. We must not play with the structure, the forms. We must not lock it, and etc. Because as you can see, it automatically generates the information, and you can see that SharePoint has direct access to it. The most important thing is that do not touch these, do not change, do not edit, because the more you edit, the main row, the more you edit, the more data will be corrupted, meaning that the data will still exist. For example, if we click on responses, it will still exist, but it will not be generated inside this particular Excel file, meaning it will just generate multiple source files. And this is what we don't need for the next step. Or explained in another way, if we have a single input, a single source file, meaning a single storage for the information, and a single output, it simplifies everything. And since this is our group, I want to, let's see, make a new page. Or since we purged everything from the previous one, I'll just click edit, meaning that this is the main page, right? So in here, I will add, where was it? I want another section. I want it to be like this. And I also want one more section. So I will click on this one, vertical selection, punk. So here I want an image. Here in the search bar, I just write image. Here it is. And I want it to be uploaded from my own PC. Here it is. And this is the QR code that we just got from here, right? Add image. And I'll add the caption, QR shortcut to the, how did we call it? ABC evaluation of suppliers. Okay. And of course, I can create a button, and I will call it, let me just get the link, collect responses, copy, meaning that right now I am creating different ways or using the different ways to fill out the form and making a simple shortcut inside my group. And I'll call it shortcut for the ABC evaluation of suppliers. And as you can see, it's kind of a long, so I will remove the shortcut. Evaluation of suppliers. All right. And republish. And that's it. So for the next thing that I want to show you is, let's say that you don't want to be wasting time or playing all the time with the same Excel file, because right now our file has very little information. But once more and more information gets added, more and more suppliers, items, and etc. get added to it, it will be kind of time consuming to fully use the Excel file all the time. So let's make some simplification. Let's make a dashboard. The point of the dashboard is to show us the key performance indicators, or the information which we have deemed important and want to see in a very easy to understand way. The information that I want to visualize is the one that we just generated in here. And in order to do that, I will use Power BI. So first, what we need to do. First, I must define the source of the data. I click on Get Data and Web. This is the source URL, which I have to paste in, which allows Power BI to get the data. Our source URL can be found by going to, I will open this source file, go to File, Info, copy path, and then I paste it here, and I delete this last part until it's just XLSX, okay? Then it's connecting to the SharePoint. It will ask for your login credentials, such as username and password, and then you just write them and you get access. I want to use this one as the source, because this is where I have the information. It could be this one, depending on what sort of file you're using. But after I've selected the information, I click on Transform Data so that I help Power BI understand what sort of information it is added, because I want to tell it what sort of data is inside each and every column. So here we have the ID. Yes, these are numbers, correct. Date, correct. This is not needed because we want our survey to be anonymous. So I can remove this one. Name, yes, it's only going to be text. So this is correct. You see, there is a column and the sort of data. So if we know that how responsive are we, and this is where it is answered in only numbers, then it should be the data type only numbers, whole numbers. How likely are you to recommend us to another enterprise? Yes, this is correct. And this is text, and this is text. So yeah, looks okay. So we apply and close, or just click on this button, punk. And we wait a little bit for the form to be added. On the right side, we have our sources. These are the different data sources that we just added, meaning that this is the form and these are the sub information categories that we just created. So just for visualization purpose, I'll drag this one. You see, these are the questions you have, the names of the columns or the types of data which will be found there. So for our purposes, I want, let's see, I want this one. So here we have the basic visualizations which can be used with the data which we have. So fields, this is the data. Visualizations, this is how the data is to be visualized. Filters, how you can slice the data so that only what is important to you is visible. So I want to have, let's say, I want this visualization with this one. Meaning that I want the values to be here, and I also want what else? Well, I have 5 answers, so I will add tooltips. Nah, like this is enough. So I will call this one format your visuals, general title. I want this one to be called count of ID. Yeah, it is actually count of ID, but I want it to be number of responses. Responses. Yes, it was correct the first time. Middle, I want it to be bold. And what else? Let's go to our visual. I want it to be, it could be average, minimum, maximum, count, standard, but I prefer it to be just count. So this shows how many responses we have. So we have 5. I also want to have a table, and I want in the table to have, let's see, these are numbers. I want suggestion, and what else? Yeah, I'll just have the suggestions. I will make it like this. Okay, I also want to, let's see, how responsive are we? And how likely are you to recommend us? I want it like this, or maybe just for visualization purposes, I can have it like this. So, what else? I prefer it to be like this. So, only this one. How likely are you to recommend us to another enterprise? Like this. And you see, this is the visualization. In here, this is the visualization. This is the data, and these are the settings for the visualization. So I want the y-axis, meaning that this is the one going up, x and y. I want the y-axis to show, I want to show how each and every customer actually, or supplier in our case, how each and every supplier evaluated us. So this is why I am putting the legend in the legend field, the same sort of information, meaning that in here you can mix different data so that you get the visualization that you want. I want to change how it's written. I'm a fan of simplicity. Visual title. I want to remove this one. How likely are you to? How likely? How likely are you to recommend us to another company? Okay. And of course, you can see that I've added a legend, but I can you click on the visuals. I can remove rename field, right? Or I can remove the field. So I will rename for this visual to marks. Okay. You see, and it changes. That's the charm of Power BI, that you have the power to actually make the visual that suits your needs. And the same, since I wanted a similar visualization, I just control and copy and control paste it here like this. But in here I will have this one, sum of how responsive legend. And we just do the same exercise. General properties. I want title. Title to be how likely are you to recommend us to another no not another to another company. Yes. Okay. But you see that this is, since it's copied from this one, we must not forget to name it correctly. This is how responsive are we? How responsive are we? And I want to do the same here. I will rename this visual to marks. Rename marks. I forgot to click enter. And what else? It would be also very nice to get, let's see, I want a very small visualization that shows the date. Like this. And I want it to be symmetrical. 3rd of October. So I also want to filter the information on date. And this is why I added what is today's date. So I start to put it in here. This is the filter on this page, since we have only one page. If we want to have different pages inside the dashboard, we just add them. You see, it's very, very simple. And this one I will rename visuals for purchasing. And what else? I also would like to add a little bit more customization. So I will add an image. Pictures, this one. Like this. And then I just save. I'm saving the source file, so it really doesn't matter where you save it, as long as you remember where it is. I will call it visuals for purchasing. Saved. So right now I have saved the file, the source file. This is the source file. This is the file where I can change, upgrade, and update the visualization. Now I want to publish it, meaning that I want to make it available to others, but without giving them the opportunity to change anything. So I click on publish. Inside the home, publish. I choose the correct group. I want it to be inside yeah, that's the thing. My internet is a bit slow today, but in our case, it should be inside purchasing group. Again, because the group is brand new, I am showing you that such issues can pop up. But there is no need to be worried. It is solvable. It just takes some time for the group to find you as the owner. Just for visualization purposes, I'll publish it in my workspace, my personal workspace. Select. It's generating. Success. And then I click on this one, open visuals for purchasing. And then it is opened inside Power BI. And yeah, this is it. You can click, you can play with the numbers. You can decide, okay, I want only the information for Monday to be visualized. Okay, we have nothing here. Wednesday. Okay. So Thursday. Oh, okay. So they evaluated us with the 5 and 8, but didn't write anything else. Okay. Okay. And that's it. So I want this particular dashboard to be placed in here inside my group. So I go to File, Embedded, SharePoint Online. I click on, I copy this link, go back to my group, and this is where I want the visualization to be. Power BI, add report, paste the link, wait a little bit. Again, it really depends how good of an internet connection you have and how fast your PC is, but I don't think that it will take so long. And I want the department to be able to use the filter, but I don't want them to have the navigation pane, meaning that in the down left corner, you see navigation pane. I can just show the difference. So this is with action bar in here. In our case, the navigation pane wouldn't, yeah, it wouldn't show because we don't have other tabs here, right? So in our case, it doesn't really matter. So republish, and that's it. This is a very simple way for you to create a visualization based on the data which is of importance to you. And as you can see, I couldn't find the slicer. So I will edit it again, and I want to show the filter. Yes, now I see the filter. Republish. And this is it. Perhaps a final thing that would be very helpful would be that there is an inbuilt file system setting inside SharePoint. Let's say that I want to make a folder and I will call it contracts with suppliers. Create. So in here, I will just for visualization purposes populate with with 5 different contract 1. Okay, I will just populate with three dummy files. This one will be called contract 2. Oh, my internet is so slow. Okay, contract 2. Then I want to make the final dummy file like this. Yes, 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 I know that my internet is slow. Contract 3. So I've made 3 different files. Let's assume that this is the contract with my first, second, or third supplier, but contracts must be followed up and renegotiated or updated after, let's say, 6 months. So I want to set up an automated alarm system. It is very simple to do. It is built in inside SharePoint. You go to date and time. I will write add or approved until yeah, you can require this to be filled out or enforce unique values, but for simplification, I won't do that. Yes. So it added a column, and I want to make, let's see, this is the first file. It is approved until tomorrow. Enter. Sometimes it will not allow you to save because either the internet is slow or it just takes a little bit of time. But you know, just refreshing the page a couple of times always helps. Approved until tomorrow. Approved until like this. And just for my own simplification, because I am the head of the purchasing in this scenario, I want to add color coding. Importance. Let's see, this one will be high, medium, and low. Low would be this one, medium would be this one, high would be this one. And save. And I want this one. Okay, contract number 1. It is low importance for us because this is, let's say, the supplier for our pens. Contract number 2 is medium because this is the contract for the soap, for example. Contract number 3, it is high because this is the pumice or the sand for the concrete factory. Just an example. And I want to add an automated alarm. So when this date comes up, I go to automate, set a reminder, approve date, meaning that I am creating an automated flow which will be activated once the information inside this one comes closer, meaning that I can specify how, yes, it will ask for permissions, yes, and it will ask how many in advance before the actual date, 1 day. And I want to get and I'll get an email, and this is why the flow is called get an email reminder. Create. And again, it just takes a bit time because my internet is slow. And yes, that's it. More or less, these are the most important assets and the simple assets. Maybe the final thing would be that, okay, I want to allocate a owner of this file, and it can be a person or group. Yes. So I want the owner of this file to be me. I want the owner of this file to be me, and I want the owner of the file to be me. And of course, if the owner is the one that should get the notification, then he is the one that adds the file and gets the notification. So how do we add members to our group? Well, it's very straightforward. Since I'm the creator of the group, I can add different types of users. In order to do so, I go to the main settings. I click on site permissions. I go to advanced permission settings. And in here, we have the three categories: member, owner, and visitor. Members can edit, owners full control, visitors only read without downloading. Of course, everything can be changed in here in the permission levels, and you can increase, decrease, or create your own group. But for simplification, I'm just using the three default ones. So I want to add a visitor to my group. I will add the account which I just made for the concrete lab. Concrete probad.se. This one. Share. So what happens is that this account has access to the site, and this account can only view. They cannot download, they cannot change, they cannot edit any of the files. They can just view the information. And that's it. Well, thank you for watching. This was the short crash course on how you can use the SharePoint to facilitate and support your needs as either department manager or a user. Again, it might seem challenging, but in reality, it's all about repetition. Sitting down by yourself, watching the video, clicking around, and just playing, because it is not difficult. It is just new, like everything else. Best of luck. I know that you are going to nail it. Wish you a wonderful day.